I'm going to have my fingers probably about this far away from the wall, okay? So bum touching the wall at all times, head and shoulders never touch the wall. If the head ever touches the wall, it's a no rep. That's considered a failed rep, okay? Then we're going to tense the quads. So you want to learn how to do a press to handstand. Well, in this epic video, I'm going to teach you an intermediate press to handstand routine. This is for somebody that doesn't yet know how to do a press to handstand. If you want to know the beginner routine, you're going to want to check out our beginner tutorial. But once you've mastered that, you can move on to this one and get one step closer to doing the press to handstand.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
So now we're doing the loaded pancake with the pancake reach at the end. So what I'm going to need here now to add to my pancake is a couple of these little 1.5 kilo weights here. 1.5 kilos is good for me. You could have 1 kilo, so 2.2 pounds, or 2 to 4 pounds, something like that, but it's very light. It's not a lot of weight. Now I need to be really clear. For this exercise, you must have achieved a level with the pancake where you can at least get down to a 45 degree like this. So with your back straight and your back roughly at a 45 degree angle to the ground. If you're still at a point where you have to round your back to get over, you're not ready for this, and you just need to keep working on the normal pancake where you the way that we showed in phase one, where you probably still need to have your bum elevated, or one of those progressions, okay? So this absolutely is a progression. It's when you've gotten better. It's once you've seen some gains. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the loaded pancake exactly like we did in phase one. So I'm going to be doing about 8 to 10 reps where I'm going to do 2 reps with my toes pulled back, 2 with my toes pointed like that. And then when I finish, I'm going to come down and compress and just hold it for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to let go of the weight. And then I'm going to grab onto these little bad boys here, and I'm going to do 3 reps of a 10-second hold, where I'm going to grab onto these and I'm going to reach forward as far as I possibly can, tensing my quads, tensing my glutes, tensing my abs and hip flexors to pull me down, and I'm going to reach forward and then I'm going to relax, and then I'm going to do that again for 3 reps, okay? So watch, I'll do a full set. So I'm going to get the weight up on my back. And from here, now by this stage of the workout, if I had done 3 sets of each of the last 2 exercises, I'd be doing a way better pancake than I am now. But that's totally fine. This is just a tutorial. But for you, you should really see, if you checked your pancake at the start of the workout and then checked it now, it would be so much better because you've really warmed it up. So here we go. 1, 2, oops, I should have just done 2. 1, 2, let's call that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now I'm going to tense my quads, try to extend my spine, okay, and let the weight push me down. Tense my quads, tense my glutes, really coming forward. Now what I can do here as well is you can actually just let the weight push you down just for a little bit at the end. So now I'm relaxed and I'm just letting the weight push me down. Okay, when I finish, I'm going to get that weight off my back. Now I'm going to grab onto these bad boys here, and from here we're going to put the arms up, reach forward and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now here I would actually just relax, okay? And when I do that compression, you're seeing, if you hear in my voice, it's a real struggle for me. So I'm tensing my quads, tensing my glutes, and reaching forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! And that's 1 set. So by the time you've finished 3 sets of all of the 3 sets of flexibility and strength, so we're about to go into what the strength component is to pair with this, you've really done a workout that's switched on the central nervous system to relax the muscles in the hamstrings, adductors and lumbar spine that require you to be flexible to get into a press to handstand. And you've also switched on the muscles, the quads, the hip flexors and the abs, that are, and also the glutes, that are helping you to lift into the press to handstand. And on top of all of that, you've done a workout that's made you more flexible and stronger. Now we're on to the eccentric straddle toes to bar. This is a very challenging exercise, and we're specifically doing an eccentric version because it's very, very hard to do the straddle toes to bar, which is what we're going to do in phase 3 of this program. And this movement really tells you how good your press to handstand is going to be. So if you can do this well, then the press to handstand training is going to be really, really nice. If this move isn't very good, it's a clear indication that you're going to struggle in a press to handstand. Why? Because this actually removes the need to be pushing into the ground and using all the strength in your upper body, and all you're doing is having to compress with your hips. Now it does actually make the compression element of the press to handstand harder, because when you're hanging like this to lift your legs up, that's harder than by just standing up and compressing your body together. So it's a really, really nice movement to develop that strength. And like all of the other strength movements in the workout so far, this is going to be very, very hard for me to be able to talk properly whilst I'm doing it, because this is a hard effort to get it done. So let's go through the coaching points. The first thing and the hardest thing that people have to wrap their head around with this is that when you grab onto the bar, you actually push into the bar. You don't pull. Any kind of pulling, either by depressing the scapula or by pulling the shoulders into extension like this, is going to be counterproductive for this movement. And it's probably the only movement that I can, well, it's definitely the only movement that I can think of off the top of my head now where we actually give that cue. Whenever you grab onto a pull-up bar, you're always, pulling with your shoulders. That's like how you do a pull-up. It's how you do a front lever. It's how you do a skin the cap. But with this movement, we actually want to be pushing into the bar, because we're not trying to use any pulling muscles. There's no pulling at all in a press to handstand. It's all pushing. So we want to teach the nervous system how to do that properly. So when you film yourself, if you see that your shoulders go like that, of course it's going to happen a little bit, because as the legs come up, the body has to move back to counterbalance. But that should happen as a counterbalance thing, as a weight transfer thing. It shouldn't happen from actually pulling with the shoulders, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is, once you've got that, where you're pushing into the bar, we're going to lift the knees up as hard as we can and use the abs so that the hips roll forward like this. And then once the knees get up, we straighten the legs and try to touch the toes to the bar. Some of you might not be able to do that. And then once the toes get to the bar, as soon as they get there, we're going to open the legs and go down controlled for a few seconds. So we have to use all of the elements of compression strength that we've developed so far. So the way that you tense your quads, the hip flexors, the glutes, the abs, everything that we've used in all of these compression movements on the floor are going to come into play here. Let's have a look at a rep. So you can see when I do it, I'm trying to push into the bar as much as I can. I'm trying to get my knees into my chest and get my toes up to the bar without pulling back too much. And then I'm going to open and slowly come down into the straddle. Now we're on to the eccentric wall-assisted press to handstand. This is exactly the same as what we did in phase 1, except, so this is a really beautiful progression. Now, instead of stopping when my feet get to horizontal height and then going back up, I'm going to go all the way down to the ground. And then once my feet hit the ground, I'm going to kick back up and then go all the way back down to the ground. And we want 3 to 5 repetitions of this with good control on the way down. Now, everything else is exactly the same as I explained it in phase 1, which means We want the bum touching the wall at all times, but we never want the head and shoulders to touch the wall. So the distance that your hands are going to be away is what's going to dictate that. The closer your hands are, the harder it is, but you get to a point where your hands are so far away that you get diminishing returns because your whole body is just falling against the wall and you can't keep it off. So for me, I'm going to have my fingers probably about this far away from the wall, okay? So bum touching the wall at all times, head and shoulders never touch the wall. If the head ever touches the wall, it's a no rep. That's considered a failed rep, okay? Then we're going to tense the quads, use the glutes, use the hip flexors, open the legs up, and as we roll down, we transition from the bum and we roll down so that the back rolls onto the wall. And as you get down to the point where your legs are horizontal to the wall, it won't be your bum on the wall anymore, it'll be your lower back. And the idea is to try and always keep somewhere between the bum and the lumbar spine on the wall. We never want to get the shoulders, upper back or head on the wall. And then I'm just going to keep the tension in the legs. I'm going to bring my legs down and go as slow as I can to try and get as low as I can before my body just drops straight down to the ground. Let's have a look. Your ability to be able to do a press to handstand is going to be largely dependent on your ability to not train to your ego. Now, when you watch some of these movements, if you're doing them and you think, man, I cannot do that the way that Brad's demonstrating it, you may need more time in phase one. And you can, if you've made significant progress in some movements but not in others, you can do like a mix match of the two phases. So you could do some movements from phase two that you're definitely ready to progress to, but then you could do some movements from phase one if you haven't made the progress that you need to with that. It's very, very important that you understand that you master that eccentric press to handstand, that you can do it at least as well as I could in that video there, where you have good control on the way down for 3 to 5 reps for the 3 sets, and you feel like when you do that standing pike compression that you really feel like you're almost on the verge of tipping the weight over onto your hands and getting off your feet. Because as soon as we go to phase three, we're going to start doing press to handstands, but it's going to be with the feet elevated, so you really need to make sure that you master this stuff before you go on to phase 3. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, consider subscribing to our channel and make sure you click the notification bell so you know when our weekly videos are uploaded. Now, the best thing for you to do if you want to stay connected with us and get free online coaching is to join our private Facebook group. It's called the UMS Movement Mastermind, and we go live daily where we answer our members' questions. It's very interactive because you can post questions while we're live and we interact with you on the show. You can also upload videos or pictures of yourself with any movements, any stretches, strength training movements, calisthenics, weightlifting, anything that you're struggling with, and we'll critique you, give you feedback, let you know how you can get better. It's a really valuable resource. It allows a lot of communication with us and also our senior tribe members. You'll get answers very, very quickly, and it's absolutely free. So jump on Facebook, search for UMS Movement Mastermind and join now. Until next time, have a great day.